it seems as though the average way of thinking isn't really the right way of thinking or the method of thinking that is going to get you to where you would like to go. I think there is kind of a general way of thinking that is across society, and there are a lot of societal norms and just things and beliefs we all kind of hold together, and that's the things that formulate society within itself. But I started to realize, I'm like, hold on, I realize I've been thinking like this, the way I think, for at least 5 years, and so much so that I brainwashed myself into thinking that this is how everybody thinks and that this is the normal way of living. So I think I'm a great person to let you guys know that um, how to not think like the average person, because I'm kind of going through it myself because I'm so caught up in thinking like myself, thinking differently, have my own way of seeing the world, independent from the world, that I need a lesson too, just to figure out how I do it. So, with that being said, I feel like, what does the average person think anyway? Let's just go there. And there's, you get, okay, first of all, you don't think your thoughts, they just come to you, and you choose which thought to entertain and get attend to. And then the more you attend to that thought, the more thoughts like that come, and then you start to formulate a story upon that. And a lot of people have these stories from trauma, from all their lives, all these bad stories and things that happened to them, and now they're caught up within this box and limitations within themselves because of the limits and walls they built for themselves. But that's kind of besides the point. I say all that to say, also, the average person, they're thinking like a worker. They're thinking with their survival. They're thinking, how can I get instant gratification? How can I just do the easy thing? And the big thing I think with most people, and even beyond thinking, is awareness. Most people are unaware. And I think, okay, we're all aware that we're alive, but the added factor of being aware that you are aware, it may sound a little crazy, but once you implement it within your life, you start to realize, damn, have I even really been here this whole time? You just so engulfed within your thoughts and your head that you forget you're alive. And I think another way that society thinks is, how can I get this from you? How can I take from you? And also, we blame everything outside of us, but nobody looks within yourself. Nobody tells you, focus on within. Or is it my perspective that's the reason why things aren't going how I want them to? And now we can talk about how to get out of that mindset, how to start thinking differently. And I think first and foremost, you just need to remove yourself. And I think a lot of times when we want to change, we want to change everything at once instead of just taking one change at a time and just one step at a time in furtherance of that change. And so with that being said, just taking one step of firstly being aware. Now that you watch this video, you now even know that you can be aware that you are aware. And a good way to tap into that, independent of this video, is asking yourself, am I aware? And a book I'm currently rereading called The Greatest Secret says 3-step process of awareness. Ask yourself, am I aware? Notice awareness. Second step, notice awareness. And third step, stay as awareness. Very simple, but you will come to realize, wow, so much of my attention and energy is wrapped up within my thoughts and my mind that I forget that I'm beyond my thoughts and my mind. And my sense of self is not solely linked to my thoughts and what I think about, but some ways that I've just got out of the way of thinking of most people. And it's kind of hard for me to remember because I've been thinking how I've been thinking for such a long time, and it's just developed and cultivated and shaped into my mindset and philosophy on the world. But I just, I've always kind of stood out. I haven't really ever fit totally in with everybody, and I think that's been a benefit to me. And you probably similar to that if you're watching this video. So don't be afraid to do something different, to first of all, okay, we got first of all, the first of all, before you do any of that, I think it's just important to remove yourself from social media, from TV, technology, even just for a couple hours. Just take an hour and just get off of all of that. Don't entertain yourself. Just sit within your thoughts. You're going to find it's probably going to be one of the most uncomfortable things you've done in a while. And it's crazy because why is it that so hard to sit with yourself? Why do you have to be distracted 24/7 and away from yourself? Because that's where your life is. And then another thing that I implemented was reading books. Reading books has been a great teacher. Like, I've always kind of had the natural awareness on my own, but reading books has really bridged the gap and allowed me to be able to express this and come to such a great understanding, because a lot of the things and feelings I have are synonymous with the books that I'm reading and vice versa. So I'm able to connect that and find that missing link. And I think a lot of people don't like to read because it's boring or whatever the case, but it's a whole nother world you're missing out on. So much knowledge, and you're literally learning someone's whole world just from a few pages. So why would you not acquire that knowledge? You know what I'm saying? And another thing I did was when I was 16, for 3 months, I was living in California for like 6 months with my dad, but 3 of those months, I didn't get on social media too much at all. Like, I really made it apparent to stay away. And that was such a liberating, great feeling. And I kind of don't really have necessarily that luxury to escape social media right now, because so much of my life and career I use for social media. So it's like, how do I, got to stay consistent for now. But yeah, just disconnecting so you can reconnect with yourself. And like I said, when you find that resistance and tension when trying to disconnect, that is the exact reason why you need to disconnect, because you're so caught up within other people's lives. And a lot of times, most times, your thoughts aren't even your thoughts, because you're just taking opinions and things you hear from other people and running with it as yours just because it sounds good and applies to your life. But ultimately, how do you feel? What do you want with life? How do you want to live your life? Because ultimately, you're the one who experiences it. You're the one that experiences this body. So it's ultimately your choice how you choose to see this life and see this world. But yeah, man, I forgot what the video was called. How to not think like the average person, man. We could probably make a part 2 for sure, because there's plenty other ways and methods I've discovered, but I won't make this video too long. But yeah, man, just take one of them steps and start to formulate your own perspective on the world. How many people are too caught up with what other people got going on? Like, if you care about other people's drama, you're cooked. You can come back from it, but if you so worried about what other people got going on and everything in the world and news and drama and war, I mean, it's cool to empathize and feel a certain way and just feel for other people, but what can you necessarily do about it? You can control how you feel and control where you at, but you're wasting that energy on things you can't control, and when it's time to actually control, you ain't controlling nothing because you expended your energy other ways. But that was just a side note. But yeah, man, appreciate y'all for watching. Good Girls Gone Bad out now everywhere, every single platform you could think of, man. Just look up Unlimited Good Girls Gone Bad, Young Steve Good Girls Gone Bad, either way. Or you put both our names together, you'll find it. It's not too hard to find, man. Appreciate y'all for watching, though. We gonna keep going up, thinking differently than the average person. And we gonna go deeper on this topic soon. I love y'all. We out. Unlimited.